Yeah.
So yeah, he'll just get his like prime pick at the end there.
5
SMG on the other hand, they just have a lot of team fight, but I'm not seeing any like real burst damage, ways to kill like a Brewmaster in their stuns. I'd like to see that coming out now. They should probably just, I mean, they have their mid hero. They don't see the carry, so they might want to save their offlane for last pick and just take their own carry here. They see their lane.
Yep. And seeing that lane, what carry do you feel could suit them?
Morphling's pretty good against the. Oh, they just take offlane. I was gonna say Morphling's pretty good against Brew. Like they don't ever really kill him. But I don't know what mid one wants, man. It's mid one. This dude plays weird stuff. He'll play He'll play mid heroes from the safe lane.
We're gonna see a Lina carry that burst damage.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even
put that past him.
Surprised. I wouldn't. He would not be like that at all. Yeah, he's played like his Leshrax, his Bristlebacks.
Yeah, true.
All
I forgot
this
about
stuff.
the Lash.
Yeah, like God, you just don't know what he's gonna do.
Talon feeling a little bit more stable, maybe a little bit more predictable. Do you want to take a stab in the dark, or even just things that you would really like to see banned to help protect the lineup that you're liking coming out of Talon?
So I think they're just looking for a carry that matches up pretty well against the Beastmaster lane, doesn't get overrun. I guess. I mean, the PA was kind of the classic one for a while. I don't know. I don't love PA for them though. Seems a bit slow.
I'd be okay with it, but it's kind of rough a little bit into Wyvern. I think we've seen people picking up Monkey King a bit more into the Enemy's ban, actually. Never mind. Oh, that's a sad. You know, an old classic used to be Naga Siren, was really nice into Beast.
Yeah.
But
Really?
I mean, Naga's good against all these heroes, I feel like, in many ways.
How did she sit in this patch? Probably not something we're going to see.
Pretty low tier.
Pretty low, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you just go TB. I think TB is the other hero that has been picked a lot against Beastmaster, just high armor.
Yep.
Easy lane, use farm, and I think that's kind of like a range carry that can hit the egg, can sit back and chill. Just nothing really threatens the TB, in my opinion, right now.
Okay.
I would just maybe like something with mobility. You don't have to necessarily, but the ability to dip out of these team fights when SMG like commit their team fight ults is nice. Maybe something with lower cooldowns as well. If you're like like you go in with your like Chronosphere, say you're a faceless one. I know he's banned, but like, and you get Wyvern ulted and your BKB gets like roared and Wyvern ulted. Like that's so much control. You're really gonna struggle as a carry in this game.
I see. All right. A little food for thought.
Yeah, I wonder if they'd even pick something like Jug or Lifestealer. I know it kind of sucks, but like the ability to have that, I don't know. It's so hard, man. They have so much BKB piercing.
Yeah,
I'm like, I want them to get in and hit the egg, but I think you're not hitting egg this game.
4 ultis that pierce BKB.
Yeah.
Like,
you're not hitting egg this game. It's just not happening. Oh my god.
Look, I said Lina. I just said it for the wrong team, but it is Lina carry.
There's
okay.
We somewhat
honestly
predicted it.
That matches what I want.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of sick. I think. Like,
yeah.
None of the traditional melee carries actually look that good against these birds.
I love it.
That's why I was saying TB. I just feel like they wanted a range carry. That's why I was like, I guess TB is like the traditional meta one, but they find something else that honestly looks better than a TB.
For real, yeah. Like it's just so nice. It helps against the egg if they get that opportunity, and it's just like constant uptime on her like damage.
Okay, well that lone druid, I'll let you guys have your piece on it. After we bring in Aries and John, though, they're actually going to get first dibs on speaking about this lone druid. If you want to start Aries, we'll swap it up.
Well, Lone Druid's an interesting hero. I think it's something that we see a little bit more from Fnatic. Raven likes to play it. I haven't seen it as much so far through 2 or 3. It is a great way to be able to deal with spirit heroes, though, overall, and a pretty good laner. So we'll see how it can shape up versus KP. It's interesting, though, because we don't get the Druid as much, but they can definitely look to close this game out pretty early again on SMG.
Cool.
Yeah, I think their draft is... Again, geared towards tempo. They start off with that Moon opener on the Winter Wyvern. They've got really good team fight this time, but I'm still all in on Talon, baby.
Wow.
We're still good.
Can't believe it.
It feels good after that first game. Very disciplined play. It's a bit different, of course, with the Savage Lina, but yeah, I feel like it could work here.
All right, so there's faith, a lot of faith in the Savage Lina. Are you guys on board? Which team tempo do you like more?
Mid one smacked Fnatic with his lone
He
druid,
did.
so I would like to see him
did.
smack here and bring it to a game 3.
Yeah.
And I think we're talking about this Lina like it's a bit different. It's very different.
It's
That's what it
very-
really is. I don't know the last time I saw a carry Lina or if I've like ever seen a carry Lina. I'm sure it's happened before, but
Sure,
I just feel like SMG are going to hit this item time. Like even if Beastmaster has a rough lane, like Beastmaster, Lone Druid, snowballing down lanes with these birds giving you this crazy team fight. Like I like SMG.
Outside of just the lineups, though, seeing how we played in game 1, do you still want to say SMG on the
I
couch?
believe, bro.
Okay.
The Phoenix
yeah.
Sunray heal onto the bear is like super
Yeah.
giga good as well.
They do have the brew to just cycling the bear, but like I always feel like the same we said for any carry. Like you can play around it. You just disengage, wait for it to end.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, they're still all on board for SMG, so I'll leave you, John and Aries with the same question that, after game 1, are you still going to go with Talon SMG?
I mean, John is already he can't go without Talon. My man, he's got the jersey repping the lads. I am excited to see how this one is able to shape up for us in our second game. I think we have a really interesting drive. We were both kind of looking at what carry 23 Savage could go for, and nothing was standing out to us. It was a difficult answer, like awkward to go like a lifestealer jug because of all the BKB piecing control. And we get a Lina carry. So yeah, I don't know when I've seen this before. Maybe Savage, we'll see how it is a decently high level on the Lina, which is surprising. And well, for SMG, they go the lone druid, something that Mid One has had success on recently versus Fnatic. So how are you feeling about this?
Yeah, I mean, look, both teams kind of go differently on the draft. You still have some comfort picks coming out, right? Like Talon having the KP Brewmaster is still great, and SMG going back to the Raging Potato Beastmaster is always good as well, along with the Moon Winter Wyvern, which does go off occasionally to a slower start, still builds into a nuisance down the line, especially once that Witchblade is up. So it's a lot more back and forth. I expect this one to maybe be a little bit more faster pace as well. Like, you could play the farming game with Wind One, but we tend to see him kind of leverage that bear once he does have a couple of items up. Mask of Madness and Maelstrom feels like that item timing. So you should expect him to group up with his team, play with that team fight, and go for that push with the Beastmaster as well.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's second bear that they've killed. Bear boar, sorry. So a little bit of gold, but mainly the experience. That is a lot of experience that's now given over.
It's going to lead to faster levels there for Hyde. The threat of double stun will start to come into play once the LLC is ready on Savage as well. So you have to be a bit cautious. The added regen you can ferry out here for Hyde also feels pretty good. They are, of course, again, laning up against Raging Potato and Afu on Phoenix. So you don't really have the best ways to maybe line up the Fire Spirits unless the side of Talon clump up too hard. It is still dual ranged up against Phoenix. So going for that early aggression on Phoenix, probably not as easy to do as you'd want it to be in this lane, but you still have angles, and you can go for the board build here for Raging, as he has already started with, but it does still feel like Savage enjoys this. He has great wave clear, you have great wave clear on Hyde as well to clear out those boars as we've seen, so if you're not careful, this could be an economy bleed for SMG if they don't manage that micro well.
Honestly, a bit surprised that he's gone into the boars with how easily they should be able to kill them off with the scatter and the dragon slave. But for me, I feel like this is a game where Mid One is going to be able to shine in. You really have a big answer to the Void Spirit, which I was saying in the draft when we were speaking. Like, I think there's another game where Makoto just might be able to carry, but this last pick Lone Druid should prove to be a big issue for him, and they don't have like any crazy way to deal with the bear. Do you feel like Mid One should be able to take over and force this to a game 3?
Yeah, I think if he does get his timings, it's pretty scary. He's going to hit earlier beats than Lina. He's going to be able to just run around, use that bear, and just get all the space he needs from his teammates as well. They have better team fight now on SMG's end. I think the one worry is if he doesn't get off to that strong start, the Lina, if it does land a faster, say, BKB travels timing, it's going to be much more present. And then you have to deal with a threat coming through from KP's Brewmaster, as we've seen before. Cycloning up the bear, I mean, yeah, you can cyclone any core, but taking away all that net worth on a hero that you're going to invest 4,000 plus gold to get a lead on doesn't feel great. So I think you still have some answers in Talon. You can always burst down with a Laguna if you want to take care of the bear first. It's still some good gold. And you do have to be concerned not just about that. Like, Mid One is having a decent time in lane, but you have to watch for Moon. It's falling behind once more on that Winter Wyvern. Mikado now off to a very smooth start, 15-4. Game 1, we saw that be really even here, Aries, but it's one of those things with a Winter Wyvern. Can go off a bit slower. Take some time to really build up here.
That is definitely the big concern about this. I mean, at least Moon is really, really comfortable on the hero. I'd love to see him pick up Dota Plus, so I know what level he actually is kind of on the Wyvern, but we'll stick at the level 5 for the moment. But we see him just thrive on this hero often. Like, he looks exceptionally good when he's playing the Wyvern, but just the concern is how can you get out of the early game? Because it does take a little bit to come online, but you do have multiple other heroes that can kind of make the space. As well, Beastmaster in a bit of trouble bottom lane. High 23 Savage. We'll find our first blood as Talon hit the board.
Yeah, they don't even need something like the LSA here on Savage going full on harassment with a Fiery Soul value point and already getting a bit of shove on that bot here. When again, a slower lane for Raging. He still opts to level up the Boars. They just get cleared out. You can't do much with a Phoenix support in this lane. Back to, again, our conversation while the draft was happening, Aries. It just doesn't feel like you do much with Phoenix on support right now, especially with a Beastmaster. Against dual range, you just can't get that spacing you want. Top laners still being aggressive, kind of farming behind a tier 1 tower, but already again poking and prodding at Pylai Die. You have to respect that control that Q does have with a Hoodwink. The Bushwhack can just cut you off. Dual melee up against the Hoodwink does feel pretty good for Q to just run around, and Pi can't even threaten with Battery Assault. So trying to run down with a Baron Tangle into Battery Assault cogs, a lot tougher. You just focus in on that farm for mid one, just hope to hit those fast timings here.
I'm going to do a good job at least being able to secure one of the water runes for Mikoto. So Q rotating over, gives him a tango as well. So making sure they keep the love flowing through across this map. I don't want to bully the beast too much. Yeah, I continue. Oh, top lane. Oh, Pilot Eye's going to be okay. A little bit of harassment. They are trying to play around with this hard camp, dragging it over. Been very impressed with KP, just his the awareness of playing this lane. It's a bit difficult to lane into the lone druid, especially with the Brewmaster. He's a decent laner, especially when you have someone to proc the Cinder Brew, but very scary to play against the druid. So kind of nice how they've just avoided the mid one hero early.
Yeah, just ensuring that he's just focusing on farm, taking away that aggression again with a clockwork that you can have. And Pi's just constantly looking for some angles with Battery Assault. Can't really do much. And they might be able to turn onto him if he's not careful.
Yeah, they should be able to get Pylite die, although nice cogs. Able to push back KP, who's looking for the 2 points in the clap. I've seen a lot more emphasis in the Cinder Brew. How are you liking the skill build from KB? Do you feel like he's going to continue to max out the cloud? Oh, bottom lane, actually, Rage Potato is in a bit of trouble at the moment. Dragon Slave still on cooldown, so they're going to be requiring the spells to get that last little bit of damage. Thanks to the Fire Spirits stopping the right clicks, but Rage Potato is really struggling down bottom.
Yeah, he's not going to see that quick timing into the Overlord. Still has a decent timing lined up for the Dominator. Let's see if that's going to be enough to allow him to maybe take control of the lane a bit more, to start to threaten some towers. Still a bit of a much more defensive start from both sides, a little bit of poking and prodding, but no full commitments. Both sides are just looking to secure their time, especially for the safe laners. It feels like it's all about Savage getting farm and mid one getting farm. Does get a couple of good entangles onto Q, but mid one's pretty forward here.
He's dead. Mikoto's going to TP up. Beautiful timing of the Savage Roar, but he'll still end up ticking. So an incredible rotation. Mikoto went all the way back to base to refill the resources. Bottom lane, Savage does step a bit too far forward. Moon trying to TP down, but a perfect timing of the Light Strike Ray means that Savage, he can fly back to the T1 tower. So Moon's rotation is completely for naught.
And that's a great symmetry there. Both sides kind of trying to play onto the side lanes, punish these farming cores, and they aren't able to get that jump they want on SMG. It's just, it feels a lot tougher, especially if you don't have a good way for your, say, Clockwork to even come in and threaten with Battery Assault. You don't really have long-range stuns. You don't have Roar and Raging. You can't set up onto the Lina all too easy. You have good slows, but you have nothing to tie into that. So the team fight's still good, but
Savage just picked up the level 6 as well. Laguna Blade instantly to cut away the life, and Rage Potato, he's struggling to have a game. The fact that he's almost same net worth as the Winter Wyvern just goes to show kind of how rough these lanes are for the moment for SMG.
Yeah, I think it's, again, something that they worked for themselves in this draft, picking up that Winter Wyvern early on, and just not expecting something like the Lina. It felt like they had a really good draft, especially with that last pick, but they managed to just find something.
Trying to solo kill Moon. Needed the Aether Remnant to get that kill. Moon's going to turn it back around. He's got the creeps, but not enough mana for the Splinter Blast, so Makoto will be okay. Go on Moon now. Q's considering about stepping in. They don't land the bushback, unfortunately. Arfu's going to fly in. Bonus hell coming through from the Sunray. Moon should be okay. Another ultimate charge is back up for Makoto. He's actually going to reinitiate, and Makoto again off to an incredible start. He's going to be cautious, doesn't enter the river, but meanwhile, the duo support on Talon, they don't care about protecting the Void Spirit. They go back in to get Arfu, so Talon doing a really good job at recognizing their limits.
They have really good wards to enable that aggression. They plant the cliff ward. There's a ward spotting that movement out, but he didn't manage to back off fast enough there for Moon. The one good news for SMG is the attention isn't on mid one, right? So your Lone Druid is farming. It's in the top 3 of net worth. That condition is still being built up. The Mask of Madness for the bear is going to be up sooner rather than later. But you are sacrificing everything else. And it just feels like the bigger sacrifice is Moon. If this Winter Wyvern doesn't find something like that Witchblade, say by the 12-minute mark, just feels really slow. You don't have that much presence. You're going to be playing around a Winter's Curse, which is nice, but you have to expect Talon to kind of clump up, and we'll see if they'll give that opportunity. A bit of a smoke out here onto bot.
Arfu, nice dive. Should be okay. Raging Potato, though, is not the one that's going to get out. Looking like it might be another death for Raging Potato. Arfu's doing a good job to keep him somewhat healthy, but with 3 heroes in the area, they just get another kill, man. Beastmaster. You hate to see the start that Raging Potato's on.
Yeah, it's not a good start. He does have his Dominator finished, I believe. Had a recipe coming in on his career. So maybe he could start playing at least in jungle, maybe just take over a lane and try to shove out with his team. With the timing of the Mask of Madness on mid-one's bear, and just look to pressure objectives. That could be one way to play now on SMG's end. But this start is just phenomenal from Talon. He travels already up in Savage. We talked about that timing. He's not even going for a BKB. He's just going straight for the Force Staff, just to have some mobility on hand. And he's ready to go. He's ready to show across the map. They're already showing mid.
KP, first split of the game. They got the Mortimer Kisses, and all they require is 2 ultimates. And meanwhile, Hyde, combined with Q, they get another kill. And this is just Talon with the ball rolling it. And look at KP with the micro, dude. Not again.
Oh, no.
Raging Potato. Look who it is. I didn't know he's cosplaying as Pylai. Die up to 4 deaths is Raging Potato. You hate to see it. Hyde might be brought down from the Helm Dome, but even they can't kill this Snapfire. Oh, Pie?
Yeah.
He's doing it. He's going in. Oh, he's going.
What?
He's gonna go for Savage instead. Hi, the cookie's on cooldown. It's a decent amount of damage coming up from the Sunray. That's a big double kill if they can find it, but Makoto to the rescue. Jumps in the river to hold them back. Moon, he can still line up the ultimate. So they get the kill onto 23 Savage, but it comes at a cost as Arfu, along with Pylai Dai, go down.
Yeah, it's still a win for Talon, but you find some scraps here on the side of SMG. That's some much needed EXP and gold coming out to Moon. Great curse to lock in Savage. And it does pay off. They hold off on the aggression. Talon don't get much headway onto that mid-tier 1, but they are allowed to reset. They know there's no curse. Egg will be up on her Phoenix once he hits 6. Just needs a little bit of EXP in the lane, then you can kind of take the team fights. But Talon just immediately smoke up. Like, they don't have Kiss, but they can just go for it.
Oh no, he's dead again. He's not out of this one. He's too far forward.
Oh boy.
Oh no, I think they saw him. Yeah, they see him. Raging Potato is going to try and do whatever he can with the roar. Again, this Sunray proving to be an issue, but back to the grave you go. They are starting to smoke down bottom on SMG. Pylai Dai and Moon combined together. Makoto, he did use all his ultimate charges, so they're going to catch Makoto out in a vulnerable position. Playing around with the dissimulate, actually goes to the north, and the hook shot, it's going to hit the Hawk. Makoto still won't make it out. Now, meanwhile, it's going to be a free fight for Savage. They can get the first kill. They're going to turn to deal with a Supernova, and they will easily bring that down. And they're not done just yet. Mortimer Kisses for the slow. God. KP soon to step in as well. As Talon, from one hero to the next, they go. Mid one, feeling the importance of showing up, but all they can do is watch his position to give another kill over to Talon.
Mid one?
Hang on, mid one. KP's gonna get the split off. It's a pretty difficult kill to get now with the bonus health that mid one's playing with, but maybe Pylon Eye might be easier. Savage gonna start to TP in. KP cycling up the bear instead. They're gonna start to surround mid one summon. They do have 5 heroes to play with. Savage protected with the high ground, and yeah, he's gonna lose his bed. Mid one, oh no, 300 gold, easy like that.
Yeah, you do have to resummon in mid one at least, so Bear is at the ready once more. That gold, at least invested onto Bear, isn't completely lost. And SMG now could go for the smoke layer. They don't have Egg, they don't have Curse, but they could try to get the jump in with Pilot. Though I tried to get some pickoffs while Talon might be a bit declumped here.
They do have Raw. Cogs needs to push him closer to Raging Potato, but no boost Beastmaster. So Makoto's gonna be okay. Oh no! Oh, look at him, he's not even gonna leave. He's gonna go back in and get the creep soon. Oh, that's not good. It's not good at all.
Yeah, I think on the bright side for SMG, they are finding objectives, right? They found mid, they're finding bot here with mid one using the bear. So they are using that lone druid push potential along with the creeps you can get out from your Beastmaster fairly well here on SMG's end. And they can start to take over that bot part of the map. Just get the farm build up they want in the LD. Try to close that gap that Savage currently has in the lead. They are losing their top, and there's no real defense set up here from the side of SMG. So they are just keeping track of Mikado. He's under vision from the creep, but can't really line anything up. No hook shot yet from Pi. And now SMG can just kind of play the farm game. Hold onto that bot area. They've got really good control with the mid and bot tier 1s taken. Talon doing the same thing, though. Playing up top, there is still that mid tier 1 to worry about, but not much to still stop them from just getting that build up from this area of the map. So we'll see. I think SMG has to look for a fight soon, Ares. They've got Egg, they've got Curse, they've got Roar, Hookshot. They should find those pickoffs here.
Yeah, they're gonna go for it. Alright. Pilot down into the T2 tower. The TP's, probably a bit too late. He can pop the Soul Ring for the spin in a couple seconds, but a beautiful timing on the Curse. Gets hide as well. Makoto should be able to trade the life of Pilot Die. Even more of a kiss is going to be expended because Q, he's soon to step in to offer the control. It's a little bit too late to get the synergy with the Snapfire ultimate. Gotta be cautious though. You can't go too far. Arfu in a perfect position on the cliff, but this is just space. 23 Savage finding a free tier 1 tower mid, and now can think about joining the boys if a fight breaks out.
Yeah, it's still a good position for SMG on the high ground though. Talon a bit awkward and low.
Q? They're gonna jump on this here. Makoto instantly pouncing. Raw's gonna hold them back. Arfu, can he get the ultimate off? Oh, beautiful dive to the high ground. This is gonna try and turn and bring it down, and he misses. Not the case. Egg's gonna pop. And now SMG, can you rally around mid one on the bear? Bushwhack's gonna buy some time. It can get the distance away now, so 23 Savage can kite mid one. And KP, he's gonna enter the fight mid one. He doesn't have the ultimate. No capability to get the bonus health. 3 heroes dropping on SMG, and they don't even bring anyone down on Talon.
They're so close to finding Savage there. Just a little bit out of range for Pi. Like that quick move out from Savage to sidestep does get to also have the force staff first on hand to push back. And SMG just miss out on that opportunity. They didn't manage to stagger their spell use areas. They didn't have a great Curse on top of Egg. Didn't manage to get the Roar they were looking for. And Talon, even from the low ground, working up against the vision of SMG, still managed to get it to work. They find some big kills. They're getting huge on Savage now, who is going straight for a Linken's. And once you have that protection on that Lina, I mean, you could probably get the Roar or the Curse off, but not both. You're going to have to be very smart with your target decision making here on SMG's end.
One of the most farm Linas. Honestly, I'd be really intrigued to see if this is what position is in regards to farm, because he's filthy rich on Savage. And not just him, but KP's got a pretty good timing on the Scepter. Like, he's already completed that. Q's got Vessel. Everyone's finding farm. It's not just one person. Meanwhile, they're solo killing heroes. Makoto just gets rid of the bird, so this should be a free Roche. Maybe Curse and Hookshot can say otherwise.
Yeah. And they're clumped up here. They've got the angle for sure.
Oh, Pilot dying! Okay, that's a beautiful hook shot. But they can both get out. Cookie, Sharpshooter, who cares about the cogs? And now KP
Oh, no.
with the help of Makoto. Down goes Pylite. Dive. Look at the micro. Oh, KP, you animal, finds Moon on the high ground. A curse only going to buy him moments of seconds. As they'll find him afterwards. Savage wrapping all the way to the left. Cuts him down with that Laguna Blade. And back into the pit they go.
Yeah, they are getting some space out for mid one. He is split pushing bot, threatening the tier 3s once more. Hyde is around to kind of just clear out the creep wave. They are still getting the creeps around to scout, but can't really go for the stop. Egg is ready. Again, you don't have quite the easiest angle to get a good egg. It's still a good area for it. You just find the position. Still KP lets off another split with that Ags that you mentioned and just scouts around.
They just picked up on Savage. They don't have the greatest resources though from Talon if a team fight does break out. Tipping over to the north. That's a beautiful hook shot, man. They can't get on top of the egg, so it will pop for the first time this game. Can maybe SMG find some kills off the back of this? They deal with the Aegis. They're going to try and chase down Cuba. They don't have the way to close the distance, so instead, they're going to turn towards KP. A forced up to reposition the higher ground, but mid one's in with their bear, just chunking away the life for the Brood. A big kill for SMG to find. They get rid of the Aegis advantage and the position 3 on Talon.
Yeah, that's a lot better for SMG than I think you'd expect. Great egg out from Afu, and great plays from the sports here to just kind of negate that advantage Talon had. As you mentioned, coming out of the pit, they didn't have any resources to play with, and they get punished for it. SMG now can look for that turn, look for an objective to play for. The bear is really farmed up from mid one, already working onto that MKB, so it doesn't take too long for them to melt through these objectives if they're given the space. And Talon has to respect that. They still have good bursts to play with. It does feel like your Lina might want a little bit more than the 2 defensive items Savage currently has, but a Force Staff and Lincoln's does have at least the Crystallis coming out, so a little bit more output there from Lina, but you have to watch yourself, especially with Chris back up. SMG still has a lot of turn play to show out here even without that egg.
It's a call from SMG. Probably wait this MKB, look for a fight. Still going to be a bit difficult with the position they're in, but they do have the capability to have very good vision this game, thanks to the Hawks, thanks to the Rocket Flare. Maybe you can get the information that Talon aren't grouped up as a team, take a fight where you have a numbers advantage, and then go from there.
Probably the best situation for SMG if they manage to get that. You snipe away a DD out from KP. And again, they're just keeping bot constantly shoved in. Mikado's in charge of kind of clearing that out this time. Mid one is really farmed up. I believe the MKB is already flying out now onto the bear. So gonna have even more output coming through from the LD. I think for Talon, again, you just need some more damage on Savage. You are still fairly reliant on Laguna to burst things down, but they will go for smoke play here.
Nice position from Pi. Pops the smoke. It's going to scout this out with the Rocket Flare. Pylite Eye should go down. Got Alpha nearby to help with the Sun Ray, but that's not going to be enough. Do they want to group up? They've got a ward on the higher ground. Moon's going to TP in as well. MKB just deleted. They're going to make sure they don't group up. KP's a big kill, but they don't stop the primal split, so KP now can break the formation, charging them down. Cycling up the one. Savage thinking about stepping in as well, but Savage, hang on. He's got no one to protect him until Makoto jumps in, forcing Arfu to dive into the river. They've already lost Raging Potato, though. Meanwhile, Pylite Eye with the buyback is holding them by the outpost, but in the river, they're onto Moon. The Winter Wyvern's in trouble. Back towards the jungle we go with Savage. Hook shot away, but he's going to be fine thanks to the Force Staff. Savage able to reset to the left. They have killed off the Wyvern. Forced to use the Supernova from Arfu as well. A very messy fight though. A buyback from Pylite Eye. You lose the Beast and the Wyvern, but yeah, just a bit awkward with how they were trying to take that team fight.
I mean, you find KP. He already does his job in the middle of it though. You are slowing down his progression onto that Aeon disc. And you almost got Savage, and the quick Force Stabs on Talon are really saving the day. Force Staff and Hyde to kind of bail out as well with Savage's own Force Staff to kind of work through the fact that he has no BKB, which he is farming up for next. Gonna stop the Crystals for now. Go for another defensive item on Lina. Just stand and fight, deal with the bear. The bear's output is ridiculously high though. If mid one has the room to just lay that bear down, use the Mask of Madness with that Monkey King bar, it rips Savage to spread. So Talon has to watch your spacing. Very scattered out fight. does favor them in the end. But again, SMG still has a lot of bite left in them. They've got the Overlord up on Raging Potato. He's got the Ancient Creep around to buff their HP. But Talon knows some of those big ults are down. They could try to jump in with his fresh Ags on Mikado.
Radiant's middle tower is under
It's gonna be
attack.
difficult though for Talon to, like, you ideally would like to smoke into an objective, maybe top lane shoved out, smoke as a team, get some wards down, convert this into a tier 2 tower. It's still yet to find, well, it is actually SMG with the first tier 2 of the game, but Talon, they kind of need somewhere to smoke to, and they don't really have that option at the moment.
Yeah, it's just tough. Like, there's so much vision coming through from SMG, the flares, the hawks, as you mentioned earlier on there, Ares. You're just able to scout around, and now you hit this pivotal timing for SMG. Ags up on Moon. So you've got that full damage coming through from Arctic Burn, toggleable. Going to be a lot harder to pierce through that backline. Mikado's definitely has to work hard to kind of take care of that Winter Wyvern and take away the threat of Curse here.
A big kill if they can bring KP down, but again, Cookie to reposition to the north. They get the fear at the last second. The damage, it needs to come through fast to prevent the split. KP to the left, but he just gets it off. KP with the ultimate. Now they can charge back the side of SMG. Pylaidi's going to be the first to kill it off. They can try to target down mid one next. The Bears pushing it back for the moment. KP's doing an incredible job to continue to kite this. Can you double back though if you're SMG? Well, they won't have that capability. In they go, blowing up the Phoenix. Moon's gonna find an angle. That's an incredible ultimate, taunting multiple heroes and taking Snapfire out of the equation. But they might not have the bear to play with. Mid one, looking for the resummon. KP, he doesn't have splits. Oh, they get the first hit route as well. Drag back with the tornado. KP is gonna go down for the second skirmish in a row. So SMG, this time they found some items and they look to use it perfectly. They will even out that trade.
Yeah, much bigger kills for them. Finding a core and support for 2 supports, again, very worthwhile. And Moon just showing us again with the Ags how much more the Winter Wyvern can do. You can just camp a cliff spot. You don't have the best ways of searching around here. On Talon, they don't have the same vision game that SMG has with their heroes. So they're easily able to use that mobility on the Winter Wyvern to just turn these things around. You do have the fresh BKB up in Savage, though. More than willing to go back in if he does find the angle. It's still playing around bot, and it's that same issue for Talon that you were saying here, Aries. They can't really go for objectives. All these fights are happening in their bot jungle. So even if they theoretically win a fight, they can't go for map control. They can't go push in a tier 2, try to take over the opposite side of the river. They're just forced to stay on their own side of the river, and SMG just feels very comfy invading every single time.
Now setting up top, Talon is not going to go for this Moon, is he? No, okay. Just trying to force back Savage. See how much damage this one Arctic Burn truly can do versus the Lina. Ooh, Kodo.
Radiant are scanning.
They got the boys starting to connect top as well. So finally Talon, I mean, the past couple of minutes we've seen pretty much everyone playing down at this bottom jungle, but finally Talon have been able to get into SMG's territory.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Twice the measure of power.
Just not able to really catch Moon. Again, just too slippery with the Ags up. And SMG still playing almost the same way as game 1. Just having mid 1 shove in bot, keeping that one lane constantly under pressure, and now TPing in Moon as well, looking for that full push. Doesn't take too long for the bear if it does manage to focus in.
You're going to see the TP in Snapfire as well. Pylaidi's going to look to stop. The Raw used as well, so they'll get this kill onto the Snapfire. Pylai, he's not making it out of this one. Cold Embrace only delaying the inevitable in Arfu. Uh-oh, down goes the Phoenix as well. So both supports are not going to be involved in this team fight for SMG. Going to be cautious though if you group up Moon. He's trying to find an angle. He might be able to get it. Look at the damage from mid 1, but a 4-staff to get KP out of harm's way.
And they just managed to find the objective they want. They take out the T3 tower. Talon, again, only finding supports. That's all they've been able to kill for quite some time now. Not able to deal with the backline, not able to catch out even Raging Potato at this point. Fairly tanky with the Overlord and maybe a nice Granite Golem every now and again. A lot harder to burst. So, I think for SMG, it's all just about being slippery. Just kind of playing the push game, sacrifice your supports, find a support trade, and get objectives. Because Talon just aren't able to go onto the objectives. Again, every tier 2 for SMG is very healthy right now. There's just no pressure coming out from Talon in terms of the push. And at the end of the day, Dota's a game all about objectives. You can find all the kills you want. You can be 30-10. But if you can't go onto the high ground, that doesn't really mean anything.
Must say, SMG have done an incredible job for this. They're down 10,000 gold. It's a weird thing to say, but just with how they've been playing the map and constantly having bottom shoved in, it is the threat of this Beastmaster Lone Druid. And I think that is just the game plan, what they have to continue to do through this game. It's scary because Talon have decent mobility with the Void Spirit. He can get across the map, the Lina with the Boots of Travel as well. But they are really making sure that Talon can't play around top. And I guess there's not as much of a... You don't particularly want to be there, I suppose, with Roche not up. But it's important that Talon haven't found a tier 2 just yet, because this next fight is going to be important. If SMG lose this Roche, it puts him in a really difficult position to come back in this game. And you need that outpost for Roche control, and you also just want to be playing there kind of to drop some vision down. So I just love how much emphasis SMG are putting on bottom, forcing Talon back. Then they're getting kind of these fights where they have this vision advantage, something we spoke about a lot earlier. And I mean, Rage Potato, he's gone this Ag shot, so it does have a little less cooldown in the Hawks. I'm also quite surprised that Rage Potato somehow is higher net worth than KP. Well, I guess KP has died off in the past couple of fights, but somehow this man is able to find his farm.
Yeah, he's just able to build up, and even if it's, you know, mildly late, had a rough start, he doesn't need much in the Beastmaster. This is more than enough to get that job done. The threat of Roar just gets scarier and scarier because, you know, BKB Pierce towards the late game is always good. And now it's just boiling down to teamfight execution. SMG has a lot of ways of just skirmishing around. You know, they have big threats with the Egg, with the Curse. They have BKB Pierce on pretty much every hero except for the Lone Druid. And they can just kind of hold their position, play tag, and have Talon just chasing around, only finding supports and not much else. So we'll see what Talon can try to do to come up against that. SMG, though, just, again, playing a very disciplined game. Been working the map well. Roche in 40 seconds. That's probably where the next big fight will break out. And it still feels pretty good for SMG.
I was just saying your praises, my guy. You've caught up in farm, but you're dead once again.
Yeah, you just overstep a bit, and they're in position to kind of punish. A nice skill to have right before Roche. Still 20 seconds away, so Beastmaster will be able to respawn in time.
Oh, they're all TPing. All right. Mid one with the bear. Oh, I don't know how we dodged everything.
It's a speedy bear. Just managed to go away. Yeah, it's a healthy, well-fed bear. You know, it's well cared for, so it can run pretty quick. Q playing tag.
Alright, second Roche is up. SMG have confirmation of this. Oh, Moon! It's got the illusion to get out of the slow, but hookshot, it's not going to be enough. Look at the crits raining in from 23 Savage, and now they'll get Pylai die as well, and oh boy, you're back to split pushing, but you just lost Moon, so you lost your opportunity to be able to defend Roche. And the bear, not the bear too, plus 300 gold. Oh no, you hate to see it.
Yeah, it's bleeding out now, but mid one's still getting a really good amount of pressure down. Like, the racks almost falls. Talon can't go for Roshan because they split up. Even with that advantage killing off the Winter Wyvern, they're going to have to work their way back in. Without Savage, it doesn't feel like they have enough damage. And of course, you always have the Hawks and the Rocket Flare now to come out. So SMG still has a fight lined up here. They still have Egg. We've seen Afu in this position. He can get a really good angle and maybe even go for a steal.
I don't know how you win this fight without Moon, though. You won't have Afu as well.
Whoa.
The Roar's out for the first control. Let's see if the Bear's going to be able to have the follow, but it looks like they were able to hold back mid once resummoned.
No.
He's got no bear now for 80. Yep, that's it. That's Roche. Second free Roche for the lads on Talon. And you see SMG instantly, tail between their legs. They are out of the pit. There will be no contestation. Oh, I say that. High and Moon is still coming. Oh, they see him. No, Makoto again onto Moon. He's got one more ultimate charge to play with, and that's enough burst.
Aegis?
Highlight die. He was trying to get the Aegis steal as well, but not quick enough for Savage. Gets the kill on the cherry on top, being the components of Roshan. He's got the shard. And who else they got? They got Rage Potato down in the river. Laguna Blade, cut away to life. Beyond godlike is 23 Savage.
Yeah, 14-1-7, kind of replicating what Mikado did in the last game. Just a massive beast on that Lina. Now they've got the room to push in a bit. And just the 2 supports shoving in top right now. Not the quickest damage in the world without the Lina, but they do have to keep a check down bot. They're preventing that split push game from coming out, and eventually it will fall. They force out the Fortify on the tier 2. So if they do manage to clear out and maybe find a room to switch onto the tier 3, no Fortify to defend from SMG. They still have, again, strong teamfight potential here, Ares. High ground hold, with egg, with a curse is pretty darn nice. But they're going to have to, again, work themselves well. Talon is showing us that they're finding these small windows where they're still trying to set up on SMG and they just catch them off guard. Mikado just works the back line, and if you remove 1 or 2 tools from that recipe here, it just doesn't feel good for SMG to re-engage.
I thought Talon got the shot off that Roche, but it was Pi did actually steal that at least. So he's got the jetpack, but fixing what I thought Talon got the ag shot. So at least Pilot I got he got something. We'll see how that's gonna come into play for this defense. SMG, they're gonna smoke outside the base. That last T2 tower, anticipating Talon to start making their way down bottom. We'll give SMG an opportunity now to get some wards down for this fight that's probably going to break out around the triangle.
Just holding the position, Talon as well, staying back. We'll go further in smoke. So let's see if they find the angle. It's going to be an interesting smoke on smoke. SMG smoke is going to fade first if you're not careful.
They should know where mid one is with where the bear's farming. Mikado, smoke's going to pop. Oh, they're going to run into pylon to start though. Jetpack over the tree line. That's certainly going to buy a little bit of time to get the ultimate off, but the supernova's to the right, so it's doing nothing. They are onto 23 Savage. A cookie to the left. They'll deal with the first life. Can they lock onto him for the second life, though? Off the back of the respawn, they're doing such a good job to kite the bear thanks to the yaws up in the air, but still Savage is in trouble. Mid one finally able to pump in the damage to Curse, holding it back as well. Savage, no, he doesn't kill. Okay, the rocket flare just getting 23 Savage, but it looks like the rest of Talon should be able to clean up. They're on to mid one. Multiple buybacks coming out as well. Savage wants to rejoin to put them in the grave for the last time this game. Mikado dissimulate up in a couple of seconds. They should get the kill with Moon onto the outskirts, but look at the crits raining down from the attack speed. Oh, Moon trying to fly away, but KP out of all heroes gets the triple kill in the trees.
Yeah, it's still topsy-turvy. 42-14. You find a couple of good kills from SMG, killing off 4, taking care of the 2 lives on Savage. But Talon still finds that opening and gets a good work out of the buybacks, and this is their opportunity now for high ground. No egg for a minute. Curse in half a minute. It's going to be nice. But Savage feels pretty well protected. He does have that Lincoln's up. BKB, 30 seconds away, should line up with the Curse being back, and they can just machine gun through the objectives. This is still Alina with a lot of farm. So if they find a room, the push is just as quick on Talon's end.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Attack range is just... Oh, nice. Bushwhack. Oh, Q. Downtown gets the stun.
Dire's middle barracks.
At least you got a buyback on Ragey Potato, but you're not going to have buildings to play with shortly.
And they at least pop off the Lincoln, so maybe find something again. The respawn's just a bit too long. They're not committing the buybacks in SMG. Gonna be playing 2 racks down. A big advantage for Talon. They are still starting to clump up here.
Into the middle.
Dire's top barracks.
What? Twilight die. Okay, P's gonna charge it as well. They should be able to get rid of the Brewmaster. And this popped the last second. And Moon will not catch him out before they enter the high ground. So, by trying to make something out of nothing.
I mean, they try. They still lose the racks. 2 racks open for Talon. Still a tier 2 to protect bot. So SMG's not completely out. They still have a lot of play angles to take here. AC is going to be coming up on Midwin soon. Midwin's also holding on to the Philostone. So that kind of tells you the state of the game. Of course, just wanting more gold on himself. I guess you don't really care about that attack damage on the main hero. DD spotted by Savage, though, bottled up with a smoke here. Could be awkward for SMG if they don't find a good angle to fight back.
And look at this ward on the backline as well. It's just way too much information that Talon have. Bye-bye, Ragey Potato. They're trying to see who has the most deaths this game between the Beastmaster and the Clockwork.
Yeah, it's It's a tough game for Raging. He's 2 deaths away from Pi. It's almost there. Pi's still in the lead for now. But Talon, again, they find 1 kill. Probably not the big kill they were looking for, though, Ares. I think they'd really like to kill off maybe Moon, maybe Mid-1. Both of them pretty high priority targets. And, of course, they can't threaten the racks yet. They have to push out the wave, wait for the creeps to come up, and then go on to that tier 2. They could opt to stall out and wait till Roshan as well for Talon. That could be risky with SMG's teamfight, but they've managed to work against it before. So we'll see what the play is for now. Just eyeing that tier 2, having Savage split push top, get his farm going almost up the Scott. He has the full Satanic, so he can actually just stand and fight against the bear. And once he has something like the Scotty up, the healing from the Sunray is not going to feel as amazing. You have great heal mitigation coming through from Talon at that point, and great stats on the Lina to just survive through. Because it feels like it takes too long to burst down Savage. Like, they've dropped so much onto that Lina, but just that little moment to live, and she manages to force staff away.
SMG. Right, they're able to get rid of the ward at least. So Talon gonna lose that advantage, but mid lane is completely shoved in, so it's obvious whenever SMG are not inside the base, Talon, they're gonna make sure they back up to their own power location up top by the outposts and this cliff ward. This will force SMG back shortly to deal with the waves. Oh, what's the probability to say? 3%. They're not out of it just yet, John. There is a chance.
Yeah, they have to execute that team fight perfectly. Have a lot of presence out from mid-1. Sure, the bear just manages to twack away on Savage within distance. And they have angles. It's just difficult to work, although they might find it if KP stays a bit too far forward here.
Radiant have full control of this area with the ward. It's not an easy spot to take a fight. Meanwhile, look to the north though. If they're ready to Moon. Oh, the Wyvern just getting blown up, full to 0. And now with the backline, Pylon died, trying to make chaos, but they get the easy kill. They turn to the egg, 23 Savage with all the attack speed they would need. Buybacks have been forced out, but I don't even know if all the buybacks are going to be enough for SMG to turn this fight.
Nah, it feels like with just even the egg taken out, your kind of teamfight turn just feels taken away. I mean, you can try to play around with healing on Sunray, but Savage is just really damn strong now on the Lina. Is just looking to shove in bot first, does have traveled, so again, not going to take too long to re-engage. SMG, you need to be cautious. Buying back on the Winter Wyvern in particular is big. If Moon gets caught off again by Mikado, that could spell the beginning of the end of that 3% chance here, Ares.
Oh, it's down to 2 now. No good. No good. When it gets 0, you start to get worried. Maybe not 0 yet.
No. I think I've seen one 0% swing, but it's very, very rare. At this point, that thing is fairly accurate.
This will hasten my fall.
KP, he might be in a bit of trouble here, actually. Aeon Disc is still on cooldown at the moment. They're going to jump the backline meanwhile. Makoto's doing a good job to buy KP enough time to get the split off, and got to get out if you're SMG. The Bushwhack holding them down for the moment, and KP, no, he's charging forward. We'll be able to run into Mr. Mid-1. Beautiful use of the synergy. Cyclone down into the 8th Remnant. Phoenix is gone. No hope of being able to spellcast him. Meanwhile, Savage, he doesn't care about heroes. Wants to deal with the bear instead. You gotta hope Mid-1's gonna resummon. It's a beautiful curse, but it's not on the damage dealers. SMG, they didn't get the taunt onto the Lina. And meanwhile, Mid-1, he's just getting cleaned apart. Cyclone, they're only just toying with Mid-1 now. Drop down into his grave. A Talon, they're still yet to lose anyone in this last fight. They're just too strong. Talon on another
Savage.
level. Oh,
what happened?
What's going
Savage?
on? Oh, get a little angry, Savage. You love to see it. The tips and the question marks. Oh, I want to know what's going on. Yeah, they dropped no G's. SMG, they're not happy with that.
Definitely not. I mean, they managed to hold out. You know, they go back to almost the same playstyle from game 1, right? Just build up in mid-1, invest under hyper carry, split push with a hyper carry, take these scattered fights, and they find a couple. And they managed to, you know, slow down Talon. Took them a long time to find some tier 2s here. In the end, though, Talon make it work. Mikado again rips through the backline, finds a couple of opportunistic kills on Moon. And I think the build-up from Talon was just great to see. They had 2 4 staffs early on, 4 staff on Hyde, 4 staffs on Savage, which meant that even with all the farm in the Bear, 2 4 staff still gets you out of danger relatively quick. And we just didn't see SMG collapse onto these fights all too often with their team fight spots. Like, we didn't see the Winter's Curse eggs, especially towards the late game. There was no opportunity to use that team fight well. It's just very scattered, maybe staggered fights coming through from Talon that just forced very awkward positions out from SMG.
It's awesome to see that Talon are in a position where they can experiment a little bit with going for like a Lina carry, where they have this really good understanding of the meta and they feel, importantly, just confident to be able to pull something out of the blue where a lot of people probably not expecting it. But Savage proving that he can play a ridiculous amount of heroes and even dropping a little bit of spice in at the end as well. We love a good old question mark, and well, for Talon, they're going to be able to take our second series of the night in pretty convincing fashion. SMG still on the struggle bus here. Of course, they were able to 2-0 Fnatic in their last series, but they weren't able to continue with that momentum into this series. And well, it is all Talon. They're going to jump up to 5-1 now at Talon. So the Division 2 team up into Division 1 are looking incredibly strong. They've almost secured their spot into the major. And John wrapping the jersey proud, but we are done and dusted for our second series. We're going to send to a break, and when we come back, we'll have the panel and an interview with one of the members of Talon.
Talon keep on putting on a performance of a lifetime. This time up against SMG as they take the series 2-0. And in this second game, would you say SMG had a better fighting chance from the get-go? Were you impressed with their laning phase a little bit more, or did it feel a little bit of a repeat from game 1?
Similar in some ways. I think different in some others. I think we definitely saw some of the potential, particularly, I think Lone Druid. Like, there were a few fights where it really looked like mid-1, things were finally going to come together. Like, he had all these, like, he got fasting MKB, and it felt like he was just eating people alive, but he just got kited a little bit too much. Like, it felt like he was, you know, always looking for that last route or something to get a kill, or someone would get force-staffed away, and just couldn't quite carry his team through some of these fights, even though, honestly, I think he played pretty well in the Lone Druid.
I know from game 1 as well, Sheep, you really liked Talon's early rotations and their movements coming out of laning phase. Did you like that here as well? Were there some rotations that really stood out for you?
Yeah, I thought they played really good. Again, we saw Mikoto TP and kill mid 1 pretty early this game, and like SMG tried to match it. Moon also then TP'd to his offlane and tried to kill 23 Savage, but failed. And like, you see the difference in the mid heroes, and like they're just not as effective as each other. Like, Void Spirit is much better. They also brought both of the Talon supports mid for the rune. I think it was like 8 minutes or something, and they dive and kill the Wyvern then as well. So like, Moon's just having a pretty rough game, and Talon is just like moving really nicely on the map and really getting a lot of like key kills.
Talon again having that good laning phase, then good early game. But as we progressed, something that you guys said you did like a little bit more about the Winter Wyvern was that it does eventually come online. It does scale somewhat okay, and you know, she does end up doing quite a lot of damage. Did you see that take into effect this game, and did you see SMG be able to take some team fights that looked good for them?
No, honestly, Past Me was an idiot for saying that. This Wyvern did nothing this game. I think you can't just first pick mid Wyvern. I feel like this hero needs to have some good matchups. Particularly playing against range cores is just not something Wyvern wants to do. You generally want to be playing against like these tanky strength melee heroes that can never get to you, that you kite. You've got percent-based damage. Carolina was just such a sick pick against the Wyvern. I feel like they were ready for it. Like, we saw the Carolina come out, and our reaction was like, oh, this is great. Like, and this is a Carolina. Like, getting excited and feeling like a Carolina is the perfect pick really highlights like how bad to me this Wyvern pick was, that they kind of drafted themselves into a corner by forcing this idea that, you know, mid Wyvern's this thing. Like, yeah, Moon's maybe great on the hero, but he didn't do anything this game. Every single core in the other team like had an answer for him. It felt like the Brewmaster's got the split. He's always getting KP's Brew. Fantastic, amazing. Always going to get split off. You've got the Void Spirit, who's just this great playmaker, can actually make those rotations, as Sheep was saying, can always get on top of the Wyvern, has that kill threat, and then the ranged carry that can just sit back and chill and never really feel any pressure from Wyvern.
Yeah, let's actually talk about 23 Savage Lina a little bit more, right? You know, maybe not a lot of people were on the same page as us. Maybe they didn't really like the Lina as much, but how much did it really stand out for you guys? What was the impact of this Lina this game?
It was fantastic. Straight from the laning stage, they get the kill on the offlane Beastmaster. She has a fantastic lane just in general, super high CS, denies. It's a great time overall. I think she had like her struggles in the mid game when she was lacking damage because first of all, 23 Savage is a straight up genius. His item build this game was amazing. Like he went the boost of travel because he was having such a good time, straight into a 4-staff, which basically nullified Clock's ability to like start killing her on his level 6. Had that, easy peasy. Then goes into the Lincolns, which means that Wyvern or Beastmaster is unable to just start a fight with their ult on them. And I think the other 3 heroes on that team did not have ways to break Lincoln, so actually they had to commit like a lot of like kind of important spells where it was just really, it made it really awkward for the fight to happen in a way that they could just kill 23 Savage. So like great itemization, but it did null his damage for a bit, and like that was kind of why I thought SMG had such a decent time in this mid game where they could fight, because they didn't straight up have the damage to kind of get through a lot of heroes. You are fighting through a lot of like team fight, AoE, like and BKB piercing sort of disable, right? So getting through that and getting through like the health tank of Lone Druid, it was rough for a little while. But then he got his Silver Edge, came really far, more online, and was able to just start like killing the bear, easy game, easy fights. Oh my god, it was so good. What a game.
It was definitely an amazing performance, not only by 23 Savage, but all of Talon in Game 1 and Game 2, which means we get to have our winners interview. Joining us is going to be KP from Talon. KP, thank you so much for joining us. How do you feel? You guys have also now picked up a win up against SMG, so you've won 5 series now.
Yeah, definitely feeling good. Don't know what else I can say. Just really happy.
Yeah, is this how you expected Division 1 to go for you guys on Talon? Like, are you very impressed? Did you exceed your own expectations?
As a team, we didn't really expect anything. We just, as most teams would say, just play our best, and we'll just see like where it leads us. For me personally, I also didn't have expectations, I'd say.
Okay, well, if anyone did have expectations out there, I'm sure you're absolutely exceeding them. You guys are looking great. I wanted to ask a little bit more about these drafts, though, more so about the Lina carry coming out. Is this something you guys had prepared, or was it very much on the spot? You're like, this is it. This is a great hero. We have to pick it up here.
That was kind of random.
Okay.
Spot. Like, yeah, just 23 Savage just felt like playing something, and we just trust him, It's pretty, like, it's kind of important to just, like, blind trust your teammates. Like, if they're feeling something, you just trust them and just go with it.
Well, it definitely worked in your favor today.
As far as feeling things, are you ever not feeling playing Brewmaster, or is that always fun for you?
It's always fun. I mean, winning is fun, right? So.
What makes... Is it something about the way you play the hero, do you think? Or is it your team? Like, we don't see many other teams playing Brewmaster. What makes this hero special for you and your team?
I guess I know how to, like, abuse it to, like, its fullest. Sort of like, when 33 plays, like, Beast or Lycan or something like that, then my version would be, like, Brew, I would say. Yeah, it's just, like, a lot of small details that I know that other people don't, I guess.
Okay. I had one last question. At the end, we saw 23 Savage throwing out a question mark. What was that about?
Apparently there was some talking on in pubs. I don't know myself personally.
Okay.
Has to be pub related, I think.
Just curious. Okay, good to know.
Fair enough. SMG picked Nature's Prophet and Lone Druid, and we saw like a little bit of ratting and attempts to just like kind of get your base down in the games. How do you as a team deal with that sort of play style so that you don't like lose your rags?
Yeah, it is scary, definitely. Like, especially against SMG, because they like, if you screw up once, you might just lose the game. So it's like really scary. For example, in Game 2, when we defended the tier 2 bottom, that looked pretty damn scary. Like the one when I died. Like they commit on me and I got cursed and I died. That one, if like something went wrong, like we might even just lose high ground. Like that was really scary. So for us, we're just very sharp on like when to take fights and when to not take fights, and we're always mindful of the bot lane because it was like always shoved in, and we know Bear can like take it in like 2 seconds, right? So just very mindful, very sharp. Just we kept reminding each other.
Well, you guys looked fantastic today. KP, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations again for the win.
Bye-bye.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Thanks, KP.
A little bit of pub action going on. It doesn't
Usually
matter
the
though.
case, yeah.
It's always happening, but it doesn't matter what happens in pubs. What comes down to it is officials and if you are winning those or not, which As I said many a times before, Talon did pick up this win over SMG. So if we take a little bit of a quick glance at the standings, we are going to see that Talon now, having played 6 series, have 5 wins and only 1 loss, putting them in very good position for the major. But quick maths, pretty sure they're not 100% guaranteed major yet. It is quite a close race up there at the top. There is still spaces for tiebreakers to happen, upsets to occur. For you guys, do you think that, you know, there's going to be top 3 tiebreakers?
There's going to be tiebreakers.
There's
for
going
sure.
for
Okay,
sure.
yeah.
Like, come
I
on.
mean-
It's C.
Yeah. And Talon's last series against RSG, so if they lose that, those 2 teams end up tied at 5-2. So, and that's without considering T1, Fnatic, Boom. They're still in it.
Yeah, there's still a lot of teams in the race, and there's also 2 more teams that are going to be playing it today. We have a second series coming up, so don't go too far, because after this break, it'll be ready.